Newcastle can reach the Champions League quarterfinals this season, but only if 3 simple switches flip. That sounds crazy, but hear me out. In the next few minutes, I will show you what has to happen, and at the end, I will give a bold prediction and a 1-sentence test you can use to check if they are on track. Here's what you get. 1. The St James's Park edge and how it turns big nights into points. 2. The squad puzzle under Eddie Howe, where the goals come from and how new faces change the ceiling. 3. The points map for the league phase. Last season, 11 points from 8 games was enough to qualify. We turned that into a clear target you can follow. Quick side mystery that matters more than you think. UEFA lists Newcastle's only official UEFA title as the Intertoto Cup. Why does that chip on the shoulder fuel this run? Keep watching, we will close that loop at the end. If your club has ever waited years to hear that anthem again, you know exactly what I'm talking about. The nerves, the noise, the belief that one home night can move a team 2 rounds ahead. Newcastle fans have lived those nights before. You can feel it building again. First, the home advantage and the proof that it flips odds. Then the attack and control balance with this squad. Then the simple math to the knockouts. Ready? Let's kick off. Newcastle qualified for the 2025-26 UEFA Champions League via England's extra European performance spot after finishing 5th in the Premier League, with the Premier League earning a 5th berth under UEFA's new format. This will be Newcastle's 5th appearance in the Champions League. Newcastle's European story began with a bang. They won the Intercities Fairs Cup in 1968-69, a historic triumph, although the competition isn't an official UEFA tournament. Newcastle's only official UEFA title to date is the 2006 Intertoto Cup, awarded outright because they advanced furthest among that year's co-winners in the UEFA Cup. Their Champions League debut came in 1997-98. The campaign is remembered for Faustino Aspria's iconic hat-trick in a 3-2 win over Barcelona at St James's Park. A statement night in the club's first UCL group stage. Newcastle returned in 2002-03 under Sir Bobby Robson and made club history. After losing their first 3 group games, they became the first team ever to recover and qualify for the second group stage, thanks to a last-minute Craig Bellamy winner at Feyenoord and a famous 1-0 over Juventus at home. They then mixed it with Inter, Barcelona and Leverkusen in the second phase, drawing 2-2 at the San Siro before bowing out. In 2003-04, Newcastle were knocked out in the third qualifying round by Partizan Belgrade and dropped into the UEFA Cup, where they surged to the semi-finals before Didier Drogba's Marseille ended the run. A long hiatus from the Champions League followed until 2023-24, when Eddie Howe guided the club back to Europe's top table. Drawn in a brutal season with Paris Saint-Germain, Borussia Dortmund and AC Milan, Newcastle finished 4th in the group and were eliminated on matchday 6. Now, with the 2025-26 berth secured via the new European performance spot pathway, Newcastle entered the 36-team league phase, aiming to write a new chapter and finally move beyond the historic high watermark of the second group stage, the best they've reached in the UCL era. In the wider European context, Newcastle has 18 seasons in UEFA competition as of the 2025-26 season. Alan Shearer remains their leading European scorer, 30 goals, and Shay Given holds the club record for European appearances, 98. Newcastle enters Europe shaped by one giant swing. Alexander Isak is gone to Liverpool, forcing Eddie Howe to rebuild his attack on the fly. In response, the club moved for 23-year-old Nick Voltemade in a club record deal, and he scored on debut.
Murphy delivers the ball for Voltemade! Nick Voltemade! Newcastle's record signing!
While Yohan Wissa arrived to add direct running and end product once fit. The question isn't just who replaces Isak's goals, it's whether the collective can manufacture enough high-quality chances while those pieces bed in. Up front, the plan looks like Voltemade as the penalty box reference, Wissa attacking the far post or half spaces, with Anthony Gordon and Harvey Barnes rotating from the left, and Anthony Elanga, Jacob Murphy offering width on the right. Callum Wilson's exit reduces veteran depth, so bench goals become a true KPI. Midfield remains the control hub. Bruno Guimaraes, Sandro Tonali, Joelinton, Joe Wilcock and Jacob Ramsey give Howe variations between pressing a 4-3-3 and a more elastic 4-2-3-1. Tonali's ban is behind him. His availability and rhythm across a 4-competition calendar are pivotal to first phase build and set-piece delivery. Lewis Miley is the developmental wildcard minutes eater. At the back, Malik Chow's signing finally gives a right-sided aerial athletic profile to pair with Sven Botman, while Dan Burn, Fabian Schär, Jamal Lascelles provide rotation and size. Fullback depth is solid. Kieran Trippier's delivery and leadership plus Tino Livramento's recovery pace, key when the wingers stay high. The goalkeeper room adds competition. Aaron Ramsdale on loan pushes Nick Pope, vital with the extra European load. Departures matter for chemistry. Beyond the headline sales, summer outings trimmed some familiar rotation. The upside is immediate. The British record Isaac Fee injects cash and PSR profit, sale price minus book value, giving Howe and the recruitment team real headroom to retool, where wealthy ownership had still been constrained by the league's rules. Backed by the PIF-led consortium since 2021, Newcastle now pairs deep-pocketed owners with fresh liquidity from the Isaac deal, critical after PSR limitations that even Bruno Guimaraes has publicly bemoaned. If the new centre-forward beds in quickly, the wide options return sharp and set-pieces remain elite through Trippier's delivery. The attack can hit par without Isaac, if not, January reinvestment, now more feasible, becomes the obvious next step. Newcastle enters the league phase with a real but outside shot at something big. Opta's supercomputer gives the Magpies a 3.1% chance to win the Champions League, ranking them among the top 13 contenders across 10,000 sims. An English winner occurs 56.4% of the time, thanks to 6 Premier League entrants. That frames Newcastle's ceiling as plausible rather than fanciful, and their median as knockout viable. The path is numeric before it's romantic. Under UEFA's 36-team league phase, 8 games 1 table, recent modelling shows 10 points all but guarantees a top 24 playoff berth, around 99% of simulations, while 9 points gets you there in roughly 69% of cases. Some coverage last season argued that 11 points was the practical safety line, so the points map is simple: 10 is the goal, 11 is comfort. Prediction: conservative. Newcastle reached the knockout playoffs, positions 9 to 24, by hitting the 10 to 11 point band, driven by strong home nights and set-piece yield. From there, they're live underdogs to make the round of 16, with Opta's overall title odds implying a deeper run is possible, but unlikely without overperformance in finishing and game management. Prediction: ceiling if the 3 switches flip, clean home haul, greater than 7 points, improved set-piece conversion and bench goals per 90, then top 16 seeding is in play and a quarterfinal becomes a credible stretch. The schedule is less about glamour ties and more about accumulating points to clear that 10 to 11 threshold. One-sentence test for fans. By Game 4, if Newcastle sits on 7+ points with a positive goal difference, they're tracking to the 10 to 11 point lane and a playoff seed. Anything less demands an away result swing late. So here's the bottom line. Newcastle do not need magic, they need habits. Protect St James's Park, keep the set pieces razor sharp, get goals from the bench when legs get heavy. If those 3 switches flip, this run gets real. You felt it in the stories tonight. The crowd is a weapon, the squad has answers, and the path is clear enough to believe. We gave you a simple checkpoint earlier. Use it. After 4 games, ask, are we on track or not? If yes, strap in. If no, there is still time to steal an away night and flip the story. Now it is your turn. Tell me in the comments which player becomes the surprise hero of this campaign. Drop your round prediction and your one must-win fixture. If you enjoyed this, hit like, subscribe, and share it with a Newcastle mate. Next up, how to shut down elite wingers at St James's Park.